ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Holland Construction. Today we have a good project. If you've noticed, you're looking right now at a walkway. That walkway is a bridge. It's a 6x5, and believe it or not, lightning struck a tree, and the tree was big enough to do this damage. So the homeowner wanted us to replace this. In just a little bit, I'll show you a quick video of that walkway and also and how lightning won on that round. But we're also going to do this driveway. If you notice, it says 20 by 12. We actually end up going to the expansion joint right there, and so it ends up being around 23 by 12. So stay tuned and watch this video, and I'll explain some things as you're watching this video.
Psycho killer, catch the sea. Better run, 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 run away.
I hope you enjoyed that video. So right here, I'm going to show you what's wrong with this driveway. Those cracks right there. The tree roots have actually brought this driveway up about 2 or 3 inches on that side. And right there you'll see a picture where it's butted up against the pavers. And you can also see the watermark. And the homeowner told me that it drains out to the street. And from the eye, I didn't believe it. But once we put our transit on it, he was correct. The pavers are actually higher than the approach. And so it allows the water to drain correctly. So what we have to do here is we have to remove the driveway, but with the owner's permission, we also have to cut the roots. The good thing is it's about 3.5 feet from the tree trunk. So I believe, and if there's any arborists out there, let me know, but when we've talked to arborists before, they said as long as there's a 3-foot radius around certain trees, that it will be okay. It's not good to cut roots, but as long as it's not closer than 3 feet, then there's a good chance that the tree will survive. Now, of course, that varies with different trees, but the tree we're dealing with, it was the same tree we dealt with on another project, and the arborist at that project told us, I really don't want to go close to the tree trunk, but if you have to, don't go closer than 3 feet. And so that's what we followed here. Of course, we gave the homeowner the choice of cutting the roots or not. But if we didn't cut the roots, they're just going to have the same problem where the driveway is going to pop up again after a while. I failed to mention that this project is in Dallas, Texas, around the Preston Road area. Beautiful area. But we're going to start this project. We've located lines so that we could cut the driveway and approach area so that we can begin the demo with the tractor. You're going to see me looking through and finding sprinkler lines. And then we're also trying to make sure there's no cable lines. Even though these things were previously located, we've still got to make sure by eyeball that those things are not anywhere in sight so we don't cut them. And if we do cut them, of course, we've got to own up to that and repair that. So hit are those over here jackhammering now so that we can free up a space and then use the tractor, as you'll see momentarily. You might be wondering why we cut part of the driveway down closer to the street and not the driveway that was closer to the pavers, or the portion that was closer to the pavers. And the reason is because the portion we were cutting down there was part of the approach, which had rebar in it, and the other part up here by the pavers, it actually only has wire mesh. That's why the tractor can pull it up and break it. I do not recommend wire mesh in the Dallas area for driveways. We just have way too much shifting in the Metroplex here, and I believe you're going to be very unhappy with your concrete after a couple of years when it starts shifting. You start driving on it with it shifting and it starts breaking, especially as you see the roots pulled it up, but not only raised it up but caused it to crack and break apart. Also, as I mentioned, sometimes even after we locate the pipes, we just don't know how close they are to the concrete, and we either cut them, or sometimes the tractor, with the weight of it, it causes it to break. As you can see, the water here on the left side of the screen, we did break a sprinkler pipe, so we had to shut the water off there to the sprinklers, and the next day, or I'm sorry, later on this day, we ended up fixing the pipe and had the customer test it to make sure everything worked out correctly. But it is one of those things that does happen. We take full ownership of it and we fix it and make sure it's new again, and we make sure the customer is aware of it. Here Gerardo and I are examining the roots. This was a pretty crazy, really gnarly root system that it had going on underneath the driveway. You can see them right there. I'm picking it up, some of the roots, and it's throughout this entire driveway. There's small little roots, but there's a big clump up next to the pavers. So I'm going to get the homeowner and talk to him about it, just to confirm that he wants to cut the roots. That he wants us to cut the roots. And I'm here showing him all the roots, and he's pretty shocked on how many roots there are. I wish I had a close-up on this because it was pretty crazy. If I have a close-up, I'll do a short video. So the homeowner did agree to have us cut the roots that were underneath the driveway because it was creating problems for the concrete and the drainage. I want you to watch in the following few seconds or minute or so, and you're gonna see me have one of the guys cut the roots, and it is crazy the amount that was underneath the driveway. And you'll see a pile off to the left of the screen. I want you to watch for that. It's pretty crazy. Right here you'll see how the rebar is actually spaced out a little bit more than what we're going to, but you can also see the beams. Those beams are about 18 inches thick, and we're going to return it to 18 inches as well, maybe a little bit thicker. That way it can hold up the bridge really well. So the guys are now forming the concrete over here. Right here in this corner, believe it or not, that corner is a little bit higher than the concrete approach, which looks like it's a lot higher from the eye, but once we put the transit on it, we noticed that it was actually higher. So we're going to grade it out so that the water will run from here down that way towards the street and out. If you notice, as I pointed out earlier in the video, you can see water stains because right here the concrete was lifted up, and so it created a dam, if you will, for the water to just stay there, and that's what created this dark spot, all the mold and everything. So just like the homeowner said, it did drain out correctly before the concrete popped up or lifted up. So we're going to be redoing that grade to make sure it drains out correctly as it did once before. And I did tell you we take ownership of the pipes being broken, so we fix those pipes. The homeowner's there now checking to make sure that the pipes are correct. He's running the sprinklers, making sure that we fixed it correctly and that water's running, and we got the okay. So we'll continue on forming. We're going to compact the base down. We're going to put rebar in, and after that we'll have it set up and ready to pour. All right, we've got rebar in over here. Look at that, the spacing is a lot smaller. The concrete will hold up a lot better. Got the 18-inch beams there. And on the driveway, we've also got the base compacted, and we've got the rebar at 18 inches on the center. We've got number 3 rebar in there. So now we just got to go and pour that concrete. I've sped up this video quite a bit, but you did see the hand troweling that we did do after we bull floated it. I think that's very important. So we waited a while. It was a little bit cooler of a day, so we had to wait a little bit longer for the concrete to set up so that we could put this broom finish on the project. It is a light broom finish, and at the end of the project, when I walk the driveway, you will notice that we've got a control joint in the center of the driveway. It was about 23 feet long at the longer end of the driveway, so we put the control joint right around the 12 foot mark, real close to 12 feet, so it's almost center of the driveway. That way we could help control the cracking. But anyways, the project came out great. As you'll see, I'm going to show you the finished project in just a minute. Alrighty, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's the control joint I was speaking about. I always like to do the control joints when the concrete's wet. I don't like to come back and cut it. I don't think it looks as good. Sometimes we have to, depending on what type of concrete we're doing, but everything came out great. Here is the walkway bridge. We actually put a hand trowel finish on this one. It's not a broom finish, that way we could get it to match the rest of the concrete pads around it. We will remove those forms in a few days, that way we give the concrete more time to set up. As always, if you have any questions, contractor or customer, please feel free to give us an email or a call, and we'll be happy to help you out with anything. Thanks so much, and y'all have a great day. Until the next video, we'll see you again.